stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway.
Happy Friday. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this awesome Friday afternoon, or Friday night, actually, at this point. So, welcome in everybody that comes in. As you can see, I got the thorn in my side.
Ain't that butter?
The head in the ache in my head.
The head in my ache.
All that joining me, rolling with me today, my co-pilot. What's up, D?
What's up, TK? I can relate to everything you were saying because I definitely feel like it's a challenge rolling with you. I appreciate that challenge, though. Keep me sharp, keep me ready for the world.
Most definitely.
Yeah, it is Friday. Yep. What's going on, Hope?
Okay, Miss Trickapoo.
Okay, Kickapoo.
All right.
So she waited until she go out of town to get here on time. The other time she late. Good to see you, Hope. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for hanging.
Definitely.
We appreciate you week after week.
Yes, definitely. How was your week?
Ooh, how was my week? My week was a roller coaster. I had some extreme highs and I had some not so extreme highs, but all beneficial at the same time. Definitely some growth, some growing pains, all of those things. Yeah, my week is this, but not a bad week all in all, but definitely a roller coaster.
Okay.
So, what about you? How was your week?
My week was slow. You know, it's something about having a 3-day weekend and then you go into the next week, and I promise that week feel like 2 weeks, and I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, today I done clocked out, like, in my mind, like 3 out of the 5 days. But yeah, on that note, but I can relate. This week was one of those weeks of some definite growth and healing, and some different challenges, but you know, you can't stay in your comfort zone. So it was some good moments that had some very positive and.
So before we get started, right, I got a question. It's kind of on topic but off topic, but I just want to know, because I know for me, I have been thinking about this topic nonstop. Tough, right? And I'm excited about it, but I'm also apprehensive about it. How do you feel about the topic in general, about talking about this?
Well, you know me. I'm very transparent.
That's where my apprehension comes from.
Yeah, I'm very transparent with my self and experiences. But the topic came to me, and I was like, okay. And then in having a conversation, one of them conversations with my daughter this week, and she got to talking, and then when she said this exact topic in the conversation, I was like, that was confirmation to me. Because I know we're not the only one in this boat.
Okay. Hey, Simone, how you doing?
And it's definitely navigating new waters in some spaces. So, and needless to say, we don't always know how to
Yeah.
parent in these spaces.
Okay.
You know,
All
some of
right.
these challenges
Well,
that come up, you're like, I don't know how to do this. Especially if you're going against the grain on how you were raised.
of how you were raised. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm with
So,
that. If y'all don't know, tonight's topic, we are talking about parenting adult children. Parenting adult children. That's tonight's topic. So thank y'all for joining us. And I want y'all to sit back, put your seatbelt on, start thinking about some questions, do some reflecting on your children if you have adult children, and let's get into this thing, man. Godly. I'm gonna be as open
yeah,
and transparent as I can as well. Just FYI, some
yeah,
space, it's a little touchy for me, but I'm here for the ride.
cool
So
business. You ready? Ready going to kick this off?
go ahead, do what you do, little mama.
All right. So, as DJ said, tonight's topic is parenting adult children. So, when we say adult, this is 18 and up. Yes. So, for me, for those that don't know, I have a 26-year-old daughter.
All right, and I have a 26-year-old daughter. She's 26, 27, 27-year-old daughter. She just turned 27 in March. I have a 27-year-old daughter. I have a 25-year-old son, and I have a 22-year-old son. He'll be 23 next month, and I have a 19-year-old daughter. I have more kids, but those are the ones that's adults. I have two more. Well, yeah, those are my adult
All right.
children.
Yeah. So, yeah. Y'all thinking what I was thinking. He was busy, right? I know.
Well, I was married to their mother for a long time. For I want to say about 14 years. Me and their mom was married.
Yeah.
So
You was
they're
busy.
well, yeah, they're about the same woman.
That's
So
that what that's what
yeah,
that's what marriage looks like. The busy.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
there you go. So that's what's up. So um in this space, where you have to, as parents, I will say, relinquish that control, um, because that kid is an adult. So now they are in the driver's seat. So it's like you're switching spots where you was the driver. Once they turn 18, you're not the driver. You now got to take the passenger seat.
mm. So let me ask this question: do you think parenting ever stops?
Oh, that was going to be, see, that's why we besties, because that was going to be my question.
Oh, okay.
Um, no, no, I don't. And I remember when Nay was about to turn 18, and she had this fear. We had a conversation, and she had this fear that when she turned 18, that I was going to stop being her parent, because sadly, in our culture, so many parents is like, oh, when she turned 18, I'm done. She's grown.
Hmm.
And I was
Okay.
like, girl, you stuck with me. I'm your mama for the rest of your life. Like, we in this. Yes. The positions change, the titles kind of change a little bit, you know, navigate, like I said, you go from
Yeah.
driver to passenger. But for me, no, I never stopped being a parent. I don't care how old she is. I'm still
Yeah.
her parent.
I
It's
agree with
just
that as well. But I don't mean in the fact of like being her parent per se, but I mean that whole parenting thing. It's a difference. Like there's some people that they're their parents, right? But are they actively parenting? And I say that because we know in our society, in this culture, when the child turns 18 and they get this label as being an adult, they feel like the parenting stops. They just send them on their way. You can't come back home, all this and all that.
yeah,
So
you
the
put
fact
them
that
out at
parenting
18.
stops. Yeah, don't call me and ask me for nothing. I ain't watching no kids, and it's sad, but we see it every day, and that's what I meant by does the parenting stop? You know, because me, I don't think it does, and with my children, my door for the most part is always revolving. The only way that it would not be revolving is if it becomes detrimental to the other children, the household. If your lifestyle, if you just don't want better, if you're just stuck on doing stupid, that's the only time my door will not be revolving. But if you just want help, if you need help, if you need a hand, if you just need to come home to regroup, that type of thing, then by all means come on. Especially my daughters. And I'm not taking nothing away from my sons, but my daughters, they can get whatever at any time, but that's another story. But yeah.
Daddy's the girl.
Yeah, yeah. So and
Okay.
I'm trying not to talk too fast and move too fast, in the podcast. But I got some stuff that I want to share, so let's get into it, man. My mother still acts like a parent to me, and I'm 33. Well, kudos to your mother, Simone. We need more mothers like that. I love it. Um, you know, I had some
Okay. So
conversations. Okay, go ahead.
I'm finna ask a question while we right there. So Simone, in the comments, can you tell us what acts like a parent to you at 33 looks like for you, or what she does? Because I'm curious definitely to know that. Go ahead. I'm
That's a
sorry. I
great
didn't cut
question. That's a great question, and I love that you asked her that. It's And the reason why is because to me, right, and I feel like my mother didn't start acting like a parent until I got grown. And some of the stuff, some of the struggles me and my mom dealt with and how she was, she wasn't always around. Most times she wasn't around. We pretty much raised ourselves. But when I got grown, I saw the shift in her, and I saw her wanting to parent, and that was a tough space for both of us to be in because I'm a grown man now, and boys or men in their 20s, 9 times out of 10, you can't really tell us nothing. We think we
True.
got it figured out. So that was a tough space. So there was a
True.
while where me and my mom didn't really talk a whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that. Um, hmm. I've always cracked a joke, and this will probably be a topic for future reference. Um, for me, I'm in that space of when you're parenting your parent.
Mm. You raising your mama.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
that
Okay.
that's where that for me that's where I am.
How long
Um,
have you been in that space? Is it new?
no,
Okay. Gotcha.
no, it ain't. It ain't.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so that for me, that's where I am. So um, yeah, DA ain't here at the moment, but to do this, and to be transparent on this episode, I had my wonderful co-hosts ask their children a question. Because one, I asked my daughter first. So thank you, Nay, for the feedback. Um, like I said, she helped me confirm that this was the topic. So I had a co both of my co-hosts ask their children, um, what are some things as an adult child that you need from your parent or parents?
Yes, and I did ask my children. I asked my oldest daughter first. I talked to her because she's the boss and she thinks she's my mother. So I called her. Um, Not because, yes, because I wanted to ask her, but I also wanted to see what she thought as far as me asking her younger siblings that same question, and she was spot on with her responses. But do you want me to share what my oldest daughter said?
Go ahead.
Okay. So she basically said, now she is little Miss Responsible. She she is on her business. And she always has been. Um, but she just basically said just to be there to talk to her when she needs someone to talk to. As friendly as she is, she only lets people get close to her only so much. But with the exception of myself and her mother, she basically is just open and free in that space, and she shares everything, right? So she just said to consistently be there to talk. That's all she needs. Just daddy's ear. She don't need advice. She's doing good for herself. She does pretty good. When she's dating. Choosing who to date, who not to date. Um, I don't worry about her in that space. But she just said sometimes she just needs to hear herself talk things through and just be there. And she said consistently be there. You know, be there when she needs to talk in. Yep,
Consistency is important, and I feel in all relationships.
it is. But one thing I realized, even just through talking to my kids, right? Um, Consistency, it looks different with each child. Like we think we're consistently right, so we know it's about showing up, but it's about showing up particularly in the way that that child needs. Sometimes it's not saying no words at all. It's just being present. Sometimes it's about your actions. Be consistently mindful about your actions because they're watching, and that's how they're learning. And I can honestly say this stuff I did not realize until I asked my adult children this question by their responses, and it uh, you know, there was some times to where because I asked that question and I wanted them to be open and honest, right? I had to sit in that space and just absorb everything they were saying and make sure that they continuously felt comfortable sharing how they needed me to be there. And it wasn't always easy, but we got through it, and I'm glad that we did. I, I feel like we broke down some barriers that's been kind of preventing a lot of forward momentum.
And I love that. I definitely love that. Because definitely parenting is a journey, Lord. It's kind of a marathon at the same time, and you don't always have all the answers. Um, so, and like you say, once they become adults, they change and they have to evolve, and you have to let that rope go in order to let them do that. 'Cause they have to experience different things in life.
Mhm.
So, even with my daughter, um, her responses, um, her first response was a safe space.
Mm. Safe space.
Yeah, to where whatever it is, she needs to have that space to be able to talk to me about anything. Um, and I know even growing up, I wanted that relationship, and I thought we had that, but then it was clarified that it was there in some aspects, but not in a full aspect because at the time I had a lot going on. Um, so now in this space where she's definitely open and I'm more geared and can take that time to definitely be present, to be that safe space.
Yeah.
Uh, and I am like, I know a lot of people say, it's always these new terms that are thrown around, and safe space is one of them. But think about, for a lot of us as kids, we couldn't go talk to our parents about nothing. It was this is what it is. This the highway. Ain't no change. You couldn't say, hey, mom, you talked to me a little rough this morning, But 9 out of 10, she really finna talk to you rough because you can't even say
Yeah.
something, or you came off as being disrespectful, or there's just some conversations that you don't have with your parents. Um, a lot of times we're that person above all. So if they don't feel safe talking to us, then
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Do you feel like with her responses, right?
Hmm.
Could you go back and see like how she came to the space to that's her response now?
Oh
You were
yeah,
able to, yeah.
definitely. Um, because like I said, during that time, and definitely not making no excuses. I know during her teenage years, I had my son, and
Yeah.
with the, like I said, being open and honest, we went through this transition phase when we found out he had autism. So really, my son's journey, just even with birth, because he was sick a lot in the beginning, and then we
Mhm.
get the diagnosis. So I literally was spread thin, walking like a zombie because I was sleepy. Because kids with autism don't sleep. At least mine didn't. So I just was trying to do so much and have so much on my plate, and even though I had a space where I always told her you could come talk to me about anything, the space was so full with other stuff. So she didn't want to come burden me or felt like she was a burden talking to me because she saw how full my table was with everything else.
Mm. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because then, like, so after I talked to her, then I talked to my son, and his response, oh man, it threw me because he's the one that appears like hard, hard. He's the one that he's more like me. We walk in the room and we command respect. If you think he has it all together, he's a handsome kid. He's a good looking guy. Um, all that things. But so when I asked him, the first thing he said was and his words was, "Oh man, are you gonna do this to me now?" And that's what he said. And I sat back because I had to process how he meant it. But it meant him digging into some emotions that he had suppressed. And I encouraged him to open up and talk to him, to open up and share. And the first thing he said was, he said, "Dad, most of the time, I have no idea what I'm doing." He's married. He has sons of his own. He said, "Most of the time, I have no idea what I'm doing." And that tore my heart out because I felt like he had it all together. Like he didn't need me to be present. But he said it's not that he needs anything from me per se. He just needs to be able to look at me and mimic what to do. He just needs that. He still needs that male father figure to be present in his life. And he said to be that, but to be that consistently. And when he started shedding tears, if I tell you I was a big ball of mush, and me and my son, we sat on that phone and we talked and we cried and he shared some stuff with me and I shared some stuff. And I also expressed, and this is the main thing as men, right? We put up this image, no matter what age, that we got it all together, that the people around us don't know when to interject because when we're asked if we're okay,
Mhm.
we're not honest. We be like, yeah, but on the inside, like we're lost and confused because I mean, this guy, I thought he had it together. He has a beautiful wife, a beautiful family. Like he goes to work, and he said, most of the time, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going through the motions, hoping. And I say, well, son, that's never going to stop per se, because there's times even now at my age when I don't have it figured out, but I know enough so when I don't have it figured out to slow down and take a look.
Yeah.
I know enough now at this age that I don't have to do it on my own. I know enough now at this age to reach out and ask. That's the difference. But so when we had that conversation, oh man, it was that was yeah, that one. It's still tugging on me today.
I
Yeah.
understand. Because I'm telling you, conversations with your adult children are totally different. It's a total different
Yep.
conversation. Like me and Nate's conversations these days are on a whole, like a whole nother level. Like sometimes I ain't ready and I'm like,
But you have to sit in it. Yeah.
yeah, you definitely got to sit in it. You definitely got to sit in it because one of her other things she says is a non-judgmental space.
Mm, yeah.
So when you're having these conversations and they are expressing something that they might have done or something that goes against the grain of how you raised them, that
Mm.
space of being non-judgmental
Well, do
and in
you?
that space and them being honest and truthful with you, that's that space of the non-judgment.
Well, and that's what I was gonna ask. Like, have you ever thought that maybe the way we raised them, some of the things that we were, you know, um, inputting into them may not have been correct?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So,
Hell, hell yes.
I
Like
mean,
I can be honest and tell you that the me then versus the me now is two different parents.
oh, I can see
Um,
it. I see it, and that's a great
that,
thing that I can see it because I mean it's evident. So, yeah.
that me then, um, because of the way that I was raised,
Hmm. I was there.
I had that typical black mama syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah.
The responses, the you being disrespectful, the don't cross this line, the this. And it's funny the things that we consider as disrespectful and crossing lines because
Yeah.
somebody's being honest or expressing their feelings. Um, so yeah, I definitely can. Even more so of when you're in a space where you're unlearning what you learned and have
Hmm.
to learn something the right way, it's a difference.
Yeah. I agree.
And you're able to definitely see those things when you think back very damn clear.
Yep.
You're like, eh.
I do agree.
um, definitely that. Yeah, definitely. So it's definitely different, and she even tells me that as well. Which, like you
Hmm.
say, it's different when it's evident and
Yeah.
you can see.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So then I didn't get a chance to talk to my other son, our second son. He's got some things going on, but we will talk. But I talked to my 19-year-old daughter. Now, if you know her, she has always been Little Miss, um, do it on her own. I mean, she started walking at like 8 months. Like she always wanted to feed herself. Didn't want a pacifier. Drop the bottle off quick. She just always been independent. Just wanted to like um, bathe herself. And my oldest daughter, like she was the one that was like attached to my hip. Like she couldn't do anything on her own. Like she couldn't even ride in the car without holding my hand. As far as my baby girl, you know, when she got in the car, all she wanted to do was listen to the music. Like, don't talk to her. Just let her vibe off the music. So it's like total opposite. So when I got her response, I should have been expecting it, but I was not. But what she said was, give her the space and the opportunity to figure it out on her own, but trust that if she can't figure it out, that she will come to us. And she guaranteed me that. she will. If she ever has any doubt or any confusion that she can't figure it out, she will come to us. But give her the space. She would rather try to do it on her own.
Yeah.
And when she said that, but this was the thing, and even in that space though, right? She needs to know that if she comes, that I'll be there. So be consistent, be consistent, right? Present to where when she need and these were her words. And when she said that word consistently again, I was like, what did it I almost would have thought that they talked to each other before I asked them that question. But they had no way of knowing that I was going to ask that question.
Exactly. Because you didn't even know that I was going to ask you that
Yeah.
question.
And I asked them literally like back to back. Like I hung up with one, and I should have had some space because it was almost overwhelming to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was her response, and I sat back, and it's like as she was talking, I was getting flashes of her growing up, and it made perfect sense because that's her personality. She's always wanted to do it on her own, but she never hesitated to ask when she didn't understand something or when she needed help. And
Yeah.
she is little miss that is her through and through. As much as she is a princess and loves getting spoiled, she stands on her own 2 feet. But she will ask.
Definitely.
And yep.
Definitely. Um, Another one of Nay's was transparency.
Oh, transparency. Like what do you mean? Like you
Being
being transparent to her or allowing her to
being,
be transparent?
being
Huh?
transparent both ways, being able to be transparent. Because I know we've had conversations as we are both in therapy, dealing with trauma. Um, Kids tend to ask, she's able to ask me questions that she may not have understood something. So what she wants from me definitely is for me to be transparent.
Mm, okay.
Yeah,
So just be open, honest with your response. Like just be as transparent, even if it's something about you.
definitely.
I can see that
Yeah,
because I feel like that creates a whole nother level of trust and comfort. Yeah.
definitely. Definitely. She also says support. Support is something um, that's needed. Whether if it's uh, just just support. Decide to go to school, or for something, or trying something new. Like I told everybody before, we did family swim classes together, and me and my daughter are one where we had water trauma caused from the same person. So, with the three of us being there to support each other through our traumas, well, really us, because
Yeah.
Mr. Aquaman was doing his own thing, but to even hearing him support his sister and give her encouragement and be a cheerleader for her, and vice versa, us doing all that together, um, it helped in those rough moments.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Mm,
So definitely love that one. Um, Self awareness
mm.
was another one of hers.
How does that relate? What do you mean?
Um, Sometimes there is stuff that you may do out of just because that's your routine, or something you may do because of your childhood where you
Okay.
were raised. Being aware of what you're doing, what you say, how you operate in front of the other one.
I got.
That them or whatever else. Being aware of what you're doing, where
Okay.
you are on the mistakes that you have made or
Yeah.
whatever else. So being even in that space, um, it plays a part. Because I know with the other person that helped create her, They're not very self-aware in their space, and it creates conflict between the two.
Okay.
You know, when you know you did something, you say you went and set somebody's house on fire, and it's like, I didn't do that. We didn't caught you on the webcam and you didn't did it. No,
Yeah,
I
and
didn't.
that's one thing about me. When I was having these conversations with my, with my adult children, I was real mindful not to make excuses about how they felt. I was mindful to just allow them the space to talk freely and even think back and see how and why they feel the way I feel. And I believe that they appreciated that more than ever. I never discredited nothing that they said. Um, I owned it. I've verbalized that I can understand and I see why you feel the way you feel. At this point, I can apologize a million times, and I will if that's what you need. But from here, I don't want you to just listen to what I'm saying. I want you to pay attention to my actions.
Oh yeah, because actions
You know,
definitely speak
yeah,
louder than
and
words. You can say all day, you gonna do this, but if there's no action behind it,
hmm and
yeah,
yeah, and we had that conversation, and they appreciated that, and we both came, well, we all came to some agreements, and yeah, so
I love that. Because whether you realize it or not, you were being accountable.
yeah,
And a lot of parents feel like you, the parent, you don't have to be accountable. Um, Whatever you did is what they did, and they still alive, and that is what it is.
mm,
You didn't do no wrong, nothing. So
yeah,
that's accountability is big, and a lot of people won't be accountable um,
it is.
for whatever happened.
Yeah, and man, one of the worst things that was said to me when I was a kid, right, was what happens in this house stays in this house.
Woo, that right there, that.
And I will never make my kids feel like they can't express themselves if they need to, even if it's about me. Like, if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, go talk to somebody. Like that's one, but that's another one. So
Yeah, that's one of them other conversations.
yeah,
Because yeah, true enough, I never cared for that myself. Because I could tell you, and as you know, we've discussed this as well. Now that what comes out, like they say, what don't come out in the wash come out in the rinse. And what a lot, so many are discovering that there was so many of us that were um, touched by folks and
hmm
other things that may have happened to us, but because of that statement,
yeah,
a lot of things don't get found out until way past into adulthood,
yeah,
and a lot of those traumas we're carrying from that time, all this time, because we wasn't supposed to speak on it because it's supposed to stay in the house.
hmm yep, yep.
Yeah. So no, I don't agree with I don't agree with that either. Um, I'll even say I'm even more open now um, to certain conversations that we have. Like right now, there's nothing that's off the table. It's an open conversation, dialect. No matter how she feels, no matter how I feel. Um, I laughed my butt off, and I shared this with you one night. I shared this with you last night. There was a conversation, and she texted me during the day, and she said, "Hey, mom, can I tell you something?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And she's like, "It was one time your lasagna was nasty," and I laughed my ass off because I was like, "Baby, you know what? I'm sure the hell it was because at that time your mama didn't feel good, and it took everything within me just to complete a meal. So I probably didn't season it like I typically season it. Probably wasn't too much love in it and everything else. So I could probably agree with you that it probably was the hell nasty.
Yeah, that was probably around the same time you had made that salty macaroni and cheese, but I digress.
Oh, I know you lying, bro. I know you
It was
lying.
one time, it was too
you,
salty.
you damn, you lying now for
I could
real.
have rinsed this off with some water.
Man, I know you lying. That didn't happen.
Oh shit!
But
One time,
just them honest moments, and it was an honest moment that actually just tickled the hell out of me because, like I said, y'all, everybody know about 2 years ago, I wasn't in no good space health
yeah,
wise. I wouldn't. I had about
yeah, I remember.
9 toes in the grave. So just it was just an issue for me, even just bringing groceries in the house. Hell, trying to stand up and cook some damn lasagna, baby. You don't even know how many breaks I had to take to cook that damn lasagna. Yeah.
I remember because I used to be like, "Man, you ain't gonna feed the young. What you gonna feed the kids?" Like, anyways, yeah, I remember, but I'm trying not to
Like
go left with it.
doing pickup delivery. It's DiGiorno. 'Cause, hey,
Yeah,
I was struggling and didn't even know it till afterwards. And I was like, oh, okay, now this makes sense. So, hey, I took that on the chin. Hell, even agreed and laughed with it. And I was like, hey, but these are the open conversations where that safe space is to be having a conversation. And granted, it's not meant to hurt. It's just being honest and transparent. Um, and I really, really I really, really value these conversations um, that we have because some of them are some small like that, and some of them may be a level 4, and some of them may be a 10 on a whole nother scale, but they're needed
I have
conversations.
I have so many letters that I wrote to my mother, but never given them to her because for what? She's not gonna be receptive. She might try to fight.
Oh yeah,
But
your mama gonna fight, dog.
so I have so many letters. Yeah,
So
you
let me
know.
ask
Go
you,
ahead.
what are you gonna do with those letters?
I don't know. They're in journals. They're here. They're there.
I'm gonna tell you afterwards what to do
All
with
right.
the letters.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm almost sure Jay would tell you the same thing.
Mm, okay.
Yeah,
I have some letters that I wrote to other people as well.
yeah. I'm gonna tell you what to do with them. Definitely. Um, but like I said, that's real. Um, some real shit. And sometimes you don't even bother to write a letter because guess what?
Well, you have to get it out some sort of way.
Oh yeah, you do. But you don't want to be sometime energy is a waste to a point. You just gonna cry it out and roll on over and go sleep.
So what's up? You got any questions? Any more questions?
Okay, wait, hold on. So the Nay's last one was being open minded. Um, I think I had my first experience of being open minded and didn't realize it to a point because I didn't understand it.
Mm,
And I've shared this before, like when she came and told me she was pansexual. And I was like,
okay.
I'd go and do my little research. Oh, okay, got it. And most typical black mom, black dads, they go, nah, yeah, no, no, nah. You like what you like. You're an adult. That's 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 you. That has nothing to do with me. That is you. That is your preference. You love who you love. You like what you like. That's you. That's the life you have to live. I
Yeah.
support what you choose to do. That's you. Um, and we don't have no issues. We had them conversations too. Female find her attractive, or she found a female attractive, and it's just like her talking about a guy that finds her attractive. It
Mm,
just is what it is. That's still my child, no matter what.
yeah.
I ain't gonna love her no less.
Understood. I love that too. I love that for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that.
So, even just off the conversation we were having last night, which was kind of deep. But I love the space that we are in now. This space is in a totally different area of one healing, um, but it's like we didn't up so many notches, um, just even in a relationship, growth and development that's there, even as we work through our stuff and our understanding, because we're both open, and the safe space is there for both of us. Um, so the space that we are in, like she said last night, I never thought we would be in this space. Um, but either way, I'm thankful and value to that because I love my kids to pieces and beyond. Those are my heartbeats. Like
Mm-hmm.
they just don't even know. But just to be on a totally different level, even as her being an adult, a lot of times it comes across, even as we talked about, where a lot of us stop parenting at 18. We don't realize how much our kids value us and still need us. Because even though they're 18, they're grown, but it's so many experiences that they haven't had. And 9 out of 10, we've been there
It's a
already.
level of maturity that only arrives with time.
Yes. And experience. They
Yeah.
say experience is a good teacher. That sucker is out of control sometimes. You be like, hey, go sit down somewhere. Go over there. But some there's some things that they can't navigate alone, or they just like they said, like my daughter said, you need that support
Yeah.
with dealing with it. And maybe it's just that space, even as Amaya said, let her see if she can figure it out herself. And if she can't, she knows that she got that space to be able to go to her parents to help her figure it out. You just
Yeah.
don't stop being a parent.
And I think that's the difference. Like my oldest daughter, right? Because her and her mother, I mean, they're close. I mean, they talk every day. They kick it all the time. But there's certain things that she'll talk to me about that she won't talk to her mother about because she knows her mom is not going to be able to just sit in that space. As opposed to me, I'll just sit in that space and just allow her to talk, you know. And when she was expressing all that to me, like I got it, it made sense because and she acts just like her mother, right? So that's how she's able to recognize it, you know. So certain things just to keep, her and her mother, like she'd rather would talk to me about it, you know. So, oh man, this is yeah.
That's what's up. So the question that I had,
First question.
this question, is think back to when you were an adult child. What did you need from your parents?
I'm still an adult child, man. You know what? This question is a little different for me because to me, like I just needed just a parent. Can one of y'all show up? Can one of y'all be there? Please, can one of y'all just be a parent? Protect me. Can I be chosen? Can I just be a parent, man? You know.
Oh yeah, very much.
So I can't even like pinpoint one thing because like they weren't there.
Yeah,
You know, it was rough.
yeah.
Uh, I definitely learned how to love the wrong way. Figuring
Ooh,
out, figuring out as I
ooh,
go, and so, and
ooh.
that's how, and I guess that's what made me feel what my son said so much more.
Yeah.
You know, so
Because it's
yeah,
crazy when you have these conversations with your kids and you hear them, and you realize that was you back then. It's like
yep,
them was your shoes, so you can relate. And it's like, damn,
yeah,
like you too. Like it's crazy for me with the conversations that we have and the right now. What we realize is, damn it, we both got daddy issues, and we dealing with them at the same time.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's like, well, damn, really,
Yeah.
really, yeah, and all those elements that come with that.
What
So,
about you? You answer that question that you just asked me.
yeah, we best friends for a damn reason.
Well, let's hope that that's not the reason, but you know.
Well, okay. Let me fix it. We're best friends already, but we have a lot of similar situations in life, and that happens to be one of them.
True. Yeah.
And it's like, hey, anybody home? Hey, where
I'm right
you
here. I'm right here. Yeah.
at? So that's just kind of where it is. It's like I said, a lot of times parents check out. Sometimes they check out before 18, and then you're just kind of left trying to figure it out, or trying to find that person to help figure it out. By the time I turned 18, my person had passed away. So my grandmother wasn't here to help me through that 18 and up, and she was my person. So it's a lot of stuff I really had to figure out and navigate. Um, and though in those spaces where I didn't know or should probably never figured it out, my daughter had to experience what her mama didn't figure out. Like, you know how they had the TikTok and it was like my first child went through everything with me? My child did. My child went through, hey, I'm being a single parent. And I never been a single parent and didn't expect to be a single parent. She grew up with me. Granted, I had her at 19, but she grew up with me, going through the first emotions of first apartment, living on our own, trying to work and go to school at the same time. So she literally grew with me and went through a lot of the challenges of heartbreak and those things, literally with me. So, or what I didn't know and was trying to figure out. And I know even on that path, I made some mistakes because I was like, oh, okay, shit, today I'm going left. And I went left when I should have went right. Should went right when I should have went straight. Like, hey, it was some shit that I had to really self navigate because the people that were supposed to help me navigate were not present.
Yep.
So I get it. Um, I definitely choose not to be that parent. Um, Even with the typical black mom syndrome, definitely them peeled off that skin and them layers um, for that. That's one of them unlearnings.
Agreed. Yeah.
And just knowing where I was then and didn't have that. Because life is hard, especially now, and you just can't navigate it. You can't navigate it alone. You just can't. And I'm just
True.
at just, hey, if I don't know the answer, that shit. I don't know the answer. We finna find it together.
We gonna figure this thing out. Yeah, I
Damn,
like that.
so right.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. So that is definitely where I am. I am with that. Like, um, people don't realize that even at this space and in a space where you can talk to your kids and have an honest conversation, it's not about being disrespectful.
Yeah.
If it comes off of disrespectful, I think we really know what disrespectful is. Somebody putting their hands on the cussing, going off, all that,
Right.
calling folks out their name, that's disrespectful. But if you could sit down at the table with your adult child and have an honest conversation of what bothers them and what bothers you and how you felt in it, that's not disrespectful at all.
True. And it's and I think one of the main things is just we remembering that they are adults, not being overbearing, because what we don't want them to do is distance themselves from us.
Yes.
That's what we don't want. We don't want them to not reach out, to not talk. And when we call, they, screening phone calls because we want to run everything. Well, if
Yes.
if it has not been implemented by now, then it might be safe to say that it's probably not going to be implemented, or they're going to have to come to the realization on their own.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That definitely that. Because one of the things when I was doing research on this, um, one of the things that they said about when you're parenting an adult child is you have to release control because you're no longer in control. It's their life. They're an adult. You gotta go on ahead and cut the umbilical cord and let them do life and allow them to do that without you run how they're living.
mm-hmm.
So I know for a lot of people that's hard to do because you was like, hey, they can't make it without me. They ain't gonna be able to do this and this. Well, you'll never know if they can make it without you if you don't give them that space to navigate and figure some things out for themselves.
And a lot of times you'll be
It ain't gonna
surprised.
happen.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to learn how to take the back seat. Like, hey, I laugh when I see the videos where the parents be like, when they kid get their first apartment or their first place and they able to go over their house and drink up all their stuff, go roll
Yeah,
and jump
right.
on their couch and eat up all their snacks like they used to do.
But that don't
I laugh
happen.
my butt off at them because it's like,
Yeah.
hey, payback now. I can do it.
Yeah, but that never
Nah, I
happens
don't do
because they
stuff like
still
that.
because
Nah.
they go to your house and they still go home and go shopping in your freezer. You still wind up buying them groceries and stuff.
Well, my baby don't do that. I ain't gonna lie. Nay doesn't do that. She don't come over here and go shopping. And in that space where her mama is still her mama,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, what you eating on? And we send each other recipes, which
Mm.
yeah, we have some moments. We be sending each other recipes. Hey, this. We trying to see who the hell gonna cook it and give the other some.
Wow.
So that's
What
what we
y'all
do.
know?
We be like, hey, remember the recipe? And I'm like, which one? We send recipes all day. This one, I made a lot. That's the key word. I
I
made a
made a
lot.
lot.
That means that mean, Mama, I got some over here for you. And
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, what you eating? Like, I don't feel like cooking. I'm like, all right. And I'll just pop over to the house with the Tupperware bowl and I'll just drop it off. Give my baby a hug and kiss. I'm like, here you go. She's like, all right. So, that's how we roll. Like
That's
I
cool.
know what her favorites and stuff are and stuff like that. So we swap out because man, I'm telling you, she make these homemade biscuits.
Hmm. I'm gonna need a biscuit when I get that way.
My and a fat girl can just sit in the bed and just eat the damn biscuits.
What
And
you
I
put
got
in
a
your
hot
biscuits?
flour
Some peach
there.
preserves.
Man, them biscuits go hard. My baby could cook. She get it from her mama though. She throw down on some stuff herself. So we do. We just alternate. We try new recipes and that little kind of stuff. And shit, that's my tattoo buddy. That's my big back activity buddy. Like
Keep my
those are
comments to
the
myself.
yeah. I ain't worried about you, partner, at all. I ain't even worried about you, man. So that's just what it is. Hello, sir.
Sorry for being late.
No problem.
Late, just the end of the podcast.
Oh, damn, I ain't realize shit. Well, all right then.
I mean, now you here now.
Shit. I ain't realize
Say,
I was that late.
say something to the people.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
So yeah. So I guess we can ask you a couple of the questions that we answered or had.
All right. Do I need to get
So
my do I need to get some tissues or something? It's gonna be some tear jerkers.
I almost said something. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Don't almost say it, sister. Say it.
I'm gonna leave it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Say it.
Um. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Okay, so what is the age of your adult child?
21.
Ooh, legal drinker.
Yeah, he been drinking. I honestly think he been drinking since he was about 18.
Damn,
Might
did
have been
you
earlier than that, but he just ain't.
Yeah.
He gonna tell like that's the story he's sticking with.
just throw my boy under the bus though?
Yeah, he is my child. I understand.
Definitely, definitely. Um, so the homework, well, this homework assignment I gave everybody was to
Mm-hmm.
ask your adult child in their adult life, what do they need from their parent?
Yep. And he said word for word what I thought he was gonna say, and I could understand. I understand. He said he don't. His exact words was, "I'm not sure," and that's because we always talk, especially now we talk more now that he's in school and stuff, trying to figure out his life than we did before. But he's figuring out it's not as easy as what Instagram and social media makes it seem.
Or his daddy?
Huh? No, I told him, I gave him the real. I said, this shit, it ain't easy. But trust and believe. I said,
No,
when I was
it's
his
not.
age, I made the mistake and lost potentially uh 10, $15 million. But you live and learn. Like I told him, you live and learn. I said, my job now is the lessons that I learned throughout my life, hand it off to him. So hopefully he'll have the tools. That's what I should say. He'll have
Yeah.
the tools to make better decisions than what I did. I mean, not knocking my mom, my grandparents, they did the best what they could with what they had and what they understood. But looking back at it, there was a lot of holes. That's the word. Yeah, there's a lot of holes in some of the logic. Uh, it's just some of the holes that was in the logic of their parenting. It was more of do this because I said so, not
Mm.
because it could end up this way or these are the potential issues that you have. Um, I grew up in a spiritual family. Went to church, seemed like 7 days a week. Um, and so especially my grandparents, my mother not so much. I think she was just trying to figure out her life as well. But living with them, a lot of that stuff was based in that church, and it was more of do it because you need to be right so you can go to heaven. And I'm like, what's right? What you say is right may not be my right. So bringing it full circle to this one, he's the same way. He's like, I hear what you're saying, but some of the things that I'm experiencing now is different from when you were growing up. And I tell him all the time, I say, I understand that. I said, but the lessons are still the same. The situation may be different. Like we didn't have all the social media and stuff like that, so the situations are still the same. But the flip side of that, the consequences are a lot worse than when I was growing up. A lot.
Mm.
You know. So like I said, I totally understand where he's coming from because it's more of he asks situational questions versus what's the meaning of life question. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um. So the question you came in on was, think back to when you became an adult child.
Mm-hmm.
What did you need from your parents?
Shit. The motherfucker just show up. Like, like for like real talk, real talk. Like I said, my mother, she did what she could do with what she had. Like and the crazy part about it, I used to hold that against her, but then I started to think about it. Like I had to think about her as a person versus her as my mother, and like what she may have been going through as because she didn't have me at a young age. She had me at 20, but she went to school to get out to I think she went to school to get out of my grandparents' house. Then she went into the military because she really didn't have any she wanted basically free money. Free money. They paid for her to go to school, paid for her to grade and stuff like that. She went into the military and she had me before she went in. So that was another driving force. So between that and then me living with my grandparents, then dealing with relationships that didn't work out. Granted, they blessed me with my sister Monica, but dealing with relationships that didn't work out. She was trying to figure out her life as well as raise two kids. So I I can't knock her for that. Like I said, she did what she could and what she understood and what she knew. Now, Wayne, on the other hand, just showed up because I honestly, I know if in my life in certain situations, if he'd have showed up, it would have went in a different trajectory, and that's why I'm so adamant about showing up in my son's life when, you know, so I know if he'd have showed up, oh yeah, NFL, yes, not just be in it, I'd have stayed in it because I believe I would have had the guidance. Um, but I can't even say that because it's dealing with him now, as far as his health and everything, and finding out stories, the backstory. I understand why he wasn't around. Because shit, he didn't know either. So like, and that's another thing why I'm trying to break some of these generational chains because he got it from his daddy. His daddy wasn't around. His daddy was around physically, but not in the capacity of a father. You feel understand what I'm saying?
Instantly present.
Yes, yes. Like yeah. So he was trying to figure it out, and I don't think he really figured it out. Um, but just by some of the stuff he's doing. So but that's pretty much it. And like for my grandparents, I mean they did what they thought was best. They tried to raise me like I was one of their own, even though I was the grandson. So but yeah, that's it. Just show the fuck up.
So you, of course, like you missed the first part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
that was my bad. It's just like today, Friday feel like a fucking Monday.
I feel you. I ain't mad at you. Um, but I'm hearing the same thing on the man side, because even when DJ talked about him and his son, you just came and said the exact same thing.
Because honestly, what as as we as black men get older, well, let me backtrack. As we as black men who understand what we went through and what we dealt with, as we get older, we try to break that link of bad. I'm just keep it 100 bad parenting. We're trying to understand where we fell short and how we can be better. So even though they're technically grown, our child. They're gonna be our child till one of us get put in the dirt. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it's me first. I mean,
Yeah.
so we're trying to break that, break that stereotype. And it's a sad part about it is not a lot of us are trying to do that. That's the
Agreed.
sad part about it.
And I agree. And I don't think it's just a man thing. I'm gonna even say that as a mother myself. When you realize the stuff that the way we grew up wasn't, a lot of stuff we dealt with wasn't right,
Right.
and you were stuck in that space. That's what you also took on, and you're like, wait a minute, the hell? And now you're
Right.
trying to repair it and fix it. So I agree. But one of the things, like I said, DJ said, is that his son too said that a lot of times he doesn't know what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to figure it out because he don't have the answers. And D was able to be like, think back where he was in that same space where he didn't know neither.
Mm-hmm. And I kept it 100 with him. I kept it 100 with him because I told him, I was like, this father thing, bro. I'm trying to figure it out just like you trying to figure out your life.
Yeah.
Like the things, like, it's different because when I was growing up, we didn't have access to everything like y'all got access to. We had some of the same distractions, but y'all shit is on a whole nother level. So as you're maneuvering through it, I'm maneuvering through it and trying to guide you. Like, nah, don't step on that landmine. Hey, don't step on that one. Oh no, don't follow the sword on that one. Try to go this way. You know what I mean, yeah. So
No, definitely that. I definitely feel that, because it's like them spaces in your life where you are transparent with your kid and like, hey, back in the day, I did this. Don't go this way. Go
yeah,
this way. My kid, she
man,
going that way, and she
bro,
going on that with roller skates with
yeah,
a rocket pack on her back. She going real.
yeah. I remember
And
on the conversation when we were talking about drugs, and I told him that I used to sell dope. The look on his face, he had that look like, I said, yeah. And I broke it down, how you do it, da 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 da. I said, but that life, that's not the life anybody should want to live. They glamorize the shit now, but that ain't nothing like looking over your shoulder. Don't know that knock at the door, is it friend or foe? Or hell, not even at the door. You on the street, on the strip doing your thing, and you see somebody rolling out real slow. You don't know if it's friend or foe. 5-0 police or somebody trying to take over the territory. You don't know. And some of the people that you be sitting there cooking the stuff up with be the same ones that are, hey, he gonna be a such and such. He gonna be da 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 da. I was telling him, I broke it down to him. He was just like, wow. I said, so that's not a life you want to live. And I told him how some people, I was blessed. I'm not gonna lie. I thank God for a praying grandmother, because it was some situation
ooh,
where I'm not supposed to be here. I tell him that all the time. I'm not supposed to be here. And I'm not talking about just on this earth. I'm supposed to be locked up. It's Yeah. So I truly understand. But yeah, I think that was the funniest conversation we ever had, because his face when I told him that, he was, I bet you want to be like, you choir boy? Like I used to tell everybody, I wasn't always in the military. I wasn't always in the military. Don't let it fool you. But
Yeah.
and then too, I like keeping it honest. I tell him I am still growing and learning as a man. So I tell him that too, because it's still things that we all fight with. Like he's fighting out, and I see it, and I like throw little nuggets at him every once in a while because I see him struggling, and I hate to say it, and sometimes I just sit there and shake my head. I'm like, damn, I fucked this child up because he is like me. Because he won't ask for help. He won't reach out when he's struggling. He won't say, "Hey, this is what's going on." It's like you got to pull it out of him. Yeah, you gotta pull it out of him. And sometimes I see him struggling. I see it on his face. He's frustrated and stuff. And I just drop a little nugget to him. Say, "Hey, whatever you're dealing with, blah 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 blah," or we'll just have a conversation about random shit just to get his mind off of it, and then we'll come back to what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because even in that space, you know your child.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I really am thankful that like granted the way it went down was fucked up, but I am thankful I was able to get full custody of him and try to the time we had together, even though the military was like, man, fuck a family. Try to show him that I'm still in his corner. Show him, like, help him that make that transition from a young black man to a young black boy to a young black man and a young adult. And it's wild to just watch him maneuver. So,
Most definitely. Most definitely. You all right over there, D?
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm just listening, absorbing. It's good stuff, man. Thanks for sharing, bro.
Nah, I'm sorry I'm late. It's like I said, shit.
Oh no, we understand life. Life happens. We got you.
Yeah.
Most definitely. We know. You at least you gave us a public service announcement.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I'll tell y'all off the air. It's gonna be funny.
And it's 24/7. We should have told him to bring some tissue. Look, I was already ready because I knew it was gonna be a tearjerker. So, tissue.
I think you got rid of all your tears last night.
I got mine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Like I said it before on the podcast. You seeing your child actually seeing you cry versus you seeing them cry. That's a whole different dynamic because that shows that you are human and you understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah, we had them.
I don't even know if y'all touched on that. Sorry.
Yeah, because I was sharing, and I talked to my son and I asked him that question and his initial response was, man, you gonna do this to me right now? Talking about tapping into those emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I paused, had a short conversation, then I got back to it and encouraged him to just express himself, man. And the first thing that he said was, most of the time, I have no idea what I'm doing. And we sat there, man, and we cried. We cried and we talked, and I shared some of the same things that you shared with him, and vice versa. So, yeah. I feel you, man.
Yeah. Definitely that. Like I said, and like I said, the conversations, like I said, I know for me and Nate are on a whole different level. Like them adult conversations from the other conversations is a totally different ball game. And like I would tell DJ that with me and Nate, and now that he's getting that, he's like, man, you wasn't lying.
Yeah. It's funny and it's weird at the same time.
Yes. Yes.
It is.
Yeah, because some of the shit me and Trey be talking about, I be looking at him, I'm like, you know I'm your daddy, right? You know I'm your daddy.
Woo! Woo!
Ain't one of your homeboys you be smoking with. I'm your daddy. But go okay. Keep letting it roll.
I mean, hey, what's off the limits that if you think he been drinking since before 18? Like, what's really off the limits? You already threw him under the bus.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is left? But like I was, I shared some of shared Nate's list, but even in those spaces, it was like transparent, being transparent and being a safe space. So when they get to start telling you they dirt or them real true feelings about stuff, that's because you're that safe space.
Mm-hmm.
And then some stuff, even though they have a best friend, that they don't even feel comfortable with sharing with their best friend.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm still working on that with him. Because like I said, he's my child. I understand. It's like sometimes he doesn't know. I'm gonna say he either doesn't know or doesn't want to get anybody involved in it. And I'm trying to get him out of that.
Okay. I can see that. Because I know, like I said, I felt like the MVP a couple of weeks ago with a conversation me and they had. And she was like, that's the first time I've said that. I never even told my best friend. I was like, I was walking on the cloud all day. I was like, that's what's up. But she's comfortable with being able to talk to me.
Yeah.
So I'd rather her talk to me than keep, like you said with Trey, but then keeping it to themselves. And then eventually, stuff build up depending on what it is.
Right. There's a question in the comments. The question is, do we cry with our kids?
Man, say.
I have.
Baby. It be some crying sessions, and then they be on video call.
I have. Matter of fact, the conversation, like that heart to heart, where we just put it all out there.
Yeah.
You cry for like shit. Yeah. Because it was just like, and I like that because I could feel where he was coming from with the whole situation, not just our relationship, but relationships in general. And I was just like, yeah, I knew it was something.
Yeah.
Because I think yesterday was the first time that I can recall crying with my son. But then again, I'm not the kind of person to just, it's only one or two people that I've ever really like cried in front of. So
yeah,
I'm just now tapping into letting tears flow and not feeling some sort of way.
Right. Yeah, that's a hard one. But I after this surgery, bro, I was like, man, fuck that.
Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, because like,
thank you for asking that question, Miss Adiba. It's a great question.
That shit broke me down, and that was the first time. That was the first time he ever seen me cry. Mm-hmm. And that's when he was like, "I knew." He said, "I knew you was in pain." He said, "I never saw you cry."
Do y'all think it's healthy?
Hell yeah, because I ain't no damn robot.
Yeah.
Let them know that, okay, like we've talked before, society puts this image out that especially Black people, it's the strong Black woman, the strong Black man narrative. and it makes it look like we robots. Like we don't have feelings, we don't cry, we don't get sad, we don't anything. We just supposed to be strong all the time. And a lot of us find ourselves, okay, well, that ain't what you ain't supposed to. That other narrative, you ain't supposed to cry in front of your kids. So you wait till they sleep and cry on the pillow, or you go in the shower and you cry in the shower, that kind of thing. And in this space with me and my daughter is, man, I can't tell you how many crying episodes we had. We both on there. Like the other night, I didn't even expect it. Didn't even see it. We just chopping it up. And the conversation kind of turned a little bit. The next thing I know, she's talking, and I'm like, the tears just start. I'm like, now look at that. She crying to shit. We just having a whole ass crying for oh goddamn shit. Okay, it's just what it is. I mean, it's just what it is. Like,
I need to find
yeah,
this. Go ahead, dear.
I feel like because we also we have to look at it too. Regardless of the relationship that you have with your parents and your kids, you're still on a pedestal. Regardless of how bad you feel like you were, or how bad you feel like you were, whatever the relationship you have with them, you're still on a pedestal. And when the moment they see you cry, there's a connection. Because that answer, I believe, and this is just me talking, I believe that answers a lot of questions about how much you care about them and their mind. The fact that you're crying with them answers a lot of that shit. Because our kids always question how much do my parents love me? How much do they care about me? How much da 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 whatever. And the moment you see that, they see them tears, especially when you don't cry, that answers it. That answers their question. And I feel that when that happens, a lot of the trauma, the I ain't gonna say the issues, but the trauma that they were holding on to starts to crack, starts to dissipate. Because they feel like, okay, they really do love me. And then that just keeps building. It just can't be. I'm not gonna say you got every time you see him you cry, but just build on that. Start building on that relationship. Building on that relationship. Damn, this shit getting me choked up. Hold on, let me drink.
Yeah. Because have you ever been sitting there talking to your parent and you crying, and there could be something emotional or whatever, and you crying and they just looking at you like this?
Yeah, and then you got to accept it for what it is.
He's like, what the fuck you crying for? Like,
and you know what? That's how, and I hate to say it, that's what I'm used to. Why you crying? I ain't nothing to cry for. Stop crying. That's why we got people can't express themselves because they don't know how to, but they weren't allowed to. The only emotion you can express is anger.
Oh damn.
That's
freely.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, like breathing. Yeah, that part. Yeah. Jackie, she said she took her granddaughter to see Inside Out so she can understand the emotions of life. That damn movie right there. Me and my kids seen both of those. We went the other week to go see it. We was all in there crying together. Because it was so relatable, especially with the anxiety, I know for me. But it was relatable, even for my son, as the girl on there was going through her teenage years, the beginning of puberty. And you can see even him, and I just looked at him. He was like, he looked at that look, like, damn, that's me. But during those moments, like, it's a moment in there. It's just the movie is so relatable in so many ways. Like, you couldn't help it. I don't think it was a dry in the damn movie theater. But And a lot of times, like you said, even with boys are told don't be doing all that crying. That's some,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna say the one word that a lot of the folks say, but they tell you ain't supposed to go out, suck that shit up. But you're not a robot. I say that with boys, men, whatever. We're not robots. We're human. We
Mm-hmm.
have emotions. They're called human emotions. So, just being in that space, you gotta understand them definitely because you got them. But if you try to avoid them or not, you still have emotions. So, it was a good movie. It was definitely a good movie, but it definitely broke it down of understanding.
It remind me of a book I read by T.D. Jakes, He Motions.
I have that book. I never read it, and I've been having
Yeah,
it for a long time, but I ain't never read it. I'm gonna lie to you.
yeah, it's a good book. It opens your eyes to the men emotions.
I need you to give it to me when I get there next week. Okay.
I'm gonna have to. I don't know if I got it in my book box or if it may be in my storage.
I got to
Okay, we
find
got
mine.
time. We got time.
I'm. I'll look because it might be in the main book box the big box I got here. It might be in that one
All
because I
right.
tried to put the stuff that I needed to read. I had intention to read in that box, so it might be in that box. But I know it was a very good book at the when it came out and everything
Mm-hmm.
like that. So that was one of the reasons why I purchased it because I wanted to be able to understand anyway.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, it is a pretty good book.
Yeah.
Before he started swallowing coke,
But nah, but
swallowing.
it's like I tell I explained this to him. I said once you have kids, you'll understand more what's going on. Um, but it's not an uphill. Not I don't what's the words I use. I basically told him it's a ongoing learning experience,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's like you learn something new every day, every time you talk to him, every time, and it's both ways. Like you learn something new about yourself, and you
Hmm.
learn something new about them.
Yeah. Definitely
Agreed.
that.
Agreed.
Yeah. Definitely that. That's what's up. Good stuff. I definitely enjoyed this discussion tonight. Definitely. I definitely encourage people to have that conversation with their children, to be open minded, have a seat at the table and chop it up for real. Because we know a lot of us can't have this conversation with our parents or any of those conversations with our parents.
Which is sad because honestly, I believe that we as a community will be in a better place if we had these conversations because there will be a foundation and a connection to a foundation and connection to who we are as a person versus us trying to figure it out, create a person. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel that. Um, y'all got any other questions or?
No, I'm good. Good on this end.
Yeah. I don't even know where my question's at, but yeah. I'm here,
Mhm.
y'all.
All right. Well, we can go ahead and close out for tonight. Whoever want to do their outro first. DJ,
Oh,
since
Yeah,
y'all both looking at each other like.
I wasn't looking. I was just trying to see if we had anything to say. I don't really have anything to say. Do you? So, Jade, my therapist, who
All
quoted
right,
me
Karen.
this. Our therapist. I don't like putting people's business out there. Our therapist quoted me this quote. Do you have that quote? Do you remember that
I have
quote?
I have a lot of quotes.
The one that she quoted. Did she quote you one this week? The one that she said was to live is the
It's
rarest
the
thing.
rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, and that is all. By Oscar Wilde. Yes.
Right. I wanted to
all
share
right, boy.
that quote because when she
Boy.
said it, man, it was profound. So
Mhm.
yeah, I thought that was dope. So let's
Yeah.
let's begin to live. Let's begin to encourage our children to live and stop just existing. That's all I got.
Man, you know how hard that is?
I do, but it's well worth it.
I mean, it is, because yeah, that's part of our homework. That's connected to our homework this week. I got a lot of damn homework this week, by the way.
Yeah, you
But
do.
that's
That's
one
because
of
you
the.
hard headed.
I ain't hard headed. My project is just a little different from y'all's, but
Hard headed.
guess what? Yours is coming. You gonna be in these same shoes I am with this homework project.
No, because I'm not hard headed.
I'm
D, are
not
you
hard
ready?
headed.
Well, you got something you want to say, my brother? Let's
My
Uh,
homework, I'm hard headed. It's just the level that I'm on, baby.
hard level of
Nope.
hard headedness. Go ahead, my brother.
I was just gonna say, sorry for being late. Good conversation, and just like, yeah, just continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you showing up, man. Even if you was late, appreciate you showing up, being present, man. And you know, things that you shared, man. The words was profound. So much love and appreciate that.
Yeah, he's so nice for gracing us with your wonderful presence. Well, your head ain't that shiny today, so I ain't gonna say that.
No, cause I ain't got no lights on. I'm sitting in the dark. Like I literally plopped down, ate my food, and jumped on.
Got you. I don't even want to know what you ate because I might get mad. So yeah, I'm gonna post that in there too. Yeah, there we go. Cool business.
I had a brisket sandwich.
You had a what?
A brisket sandwich?
Man, I'm about to click you off here. Never mind. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We greatly appreciate y'all as always. Thanks for those that chimed in the comments and provided us some feedback and answered. Very much appreciate y'all. We know this topic for some may be a little rough. If you do view this as a replay, please like, share, and subscribe. Share it with somebody. This may even be a opener for you and your adult children to be able to be in a better space. Believe it or not, these spaces and growth are, breaking a lot of generational curses, because as stated, a lot of us can't have these conversations with our parents. So, and even just a conversation, icebreaker, send the question to your kids to see what they say. Because that question opens up a whole nother door by itself. So tune in to us, of course, next week, same time as always. Have a safe and blessed week, and we are out.
Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this.